Hey everyone, welcome back to Bike Vibe, the place where riders feel the rumble before even starting the engine, where we talk bikes, builds, mods, and everything that keeps your machine on the road. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join the vibe, because today we're diving into something every Harley lover needs to know, and that is all about the 2026 Harley-Davidson spare parts, from nuts and bolts to gears, accessories, and the small but critical components that keep your beast running smooth. Now as we look ahead to the 2026 Harley lineup, a lot of riders want to understand how the parts market is shaping up, what components will cost, and which pieces are worth upgrading the moment you get your hands on the bike. So let's roll into it and break down the nuts, bolts, gears, and essential pieces you'll be dealing with. Starting off with one of the simplest but most important categories, the standard Harley-Davidson chrome-plated mounting bolts for the 2026 models are expected to be priced around $12 to $18 per pair depending on the finish and size. The upgraded titanium performance bolts, especially the ones used for engine mounts or frame reinforcements, will come in around $30 to $45 per set. For riders wanting blacked-out bolts to match the new Dark Series paint options, you're probably looking at $15 to $22 per pair. Next up, engine fastener kits for the 2026 Harley engines. Whether you're talking about the Milwaukee 8 continuation or the upcoming updated power units, will likely sit around $120 to $180 for a complete high-strength stainless steel kit. If you want the premium ARC-grade fasteners, expect somewhere between $200 to $260 for a full engine set. Moving into gear components, the transmission gear set for the 2026 Harley-Davidson Touring models is projected to be in the range of $1,100 to $1,400 depending on whether you get OEM or performance-tuned aftermarket versions. The clutch gear assembly, which many riders upgrade early, will hit somewhere between $350 and $500 for a 2026 compatible pack. High-torque clutch springs are expected to be around $60 to $80 for a set. The primary drive chain for the 2026 lineup will likely fall between $120 and $150, while a performance tensioner upgrade kit will run around $80 to $100. And speaking of chains, for riders who prefer a belt drive, the 2026 Harley Drive belt, which is more durable and heat-resistant than the previous version, is projected at around $280 to $340. Now moving into the electrical components, a 2026 Harley-Davidson battery, upgraded with better cold crank performance, is expected to be priced between $160 and $200. The high-output stator replacement will likely run about $180 to $220, and the regulator will sit around $90 to $120. For those planning lighting mods, the 2026 LED headlamp assembly is projected between $220 and $290 depending on style. LED turn signal units will be about $60 to $90 per pair, and the taillight assembly around $100 to $130. Moving over to the braking system, the front brake rotor for the 2026 Harley-Davidson lineup is expected to be priced around $120 to $180 each, with the floating performance versions reaching as high as $220. Rear rotors will fall around $100 to $150. Brake calipers for the 2026 lineup, especially if Harley keeps expanding its premium Brembo partnerships, will be in the range of $300 to $450 each for front calipers and about $250 to $300 for the rear. The brake pad sets will likely remain affordable, running $30 to $60 depending on compound. Now, let's talk suspension. The front fork tube replacements for 2026 Harleys will likely cost around $280 to $350 per tube, and a complete front fork rebuild kit will sit between $120 and $180. Rear shocks, which many riders upgrade first thing, will cost anywhere from $400 to $900 depending on whether you go with standard Harley replacements or performance aftermarket options. For riders planning to upgrade the air ride suspension on their 2026 touring bikes, a complete kit is expected to be between $900 and $1,200. Now moving toward the fuel system, a 2026 Harley-Davidson fuel pump assembly is projected at around $220 to $280. The fuel injectors will likely run about $60 to $80 each, while a complete fuel line replacement kit will sit around $40 to $60. An upgraded air intake for better performance will be around $200 to $350 depending on brand and stage. Speaking of performance upgrades, the Stage 1 upgrade kit for the 2026 Harley-Davidson models is expected to be priced around $600 to $800, including the tuner, air cleaner, and exhaust upgrade compatibility. A Stage 2 torque cam upgrade kit will likely be in the range of $800 to $1,100 including cams, pushrods, and lifters. Stage 3 and Stage 4 big bore kits for the new 2026 engines are going to be more serious investments, probably around $1,800 to $3,200 depending on displacement increase. Now let's roll into exhaust systems, one of the most popular upgrades for any Harley. A 2026 Harley-Davidson slip-on exhaust system, depending on brand and finish, will run about $350 to $580. A complete full system exhaust will land somewhere between $800 and $1,500. Heat shield kits for 2026 exhaust setups will cost around $60 to $100. Now going into body parts and accessories, front fenders for the 2026 lineup will likely cost around $120 to $180, rear fenders around $150 to $220. A complete saddlebag kit for the 2026 touring models will sit between $600 and $900 for OEM, and aftermarket stretched bags may go as high as $1,200. Windscreens for the 2026 Harley models are expected to run about $100 to $180 depending on size and tint. A replacement seat will cost anywhere from $200 to $500 for comfortable long ride options. Mirrors for 2026 Harley-Davidson models will remain relatively affordable at $50 to $80 per pair for standard versions and up to $150 for premium finishes. Handlebars for the 2026 lineup will likely cost around $150 to $280 depending on style, with ape hangers being on the higher end. Now let's talk tires. A front tire for the 2026 Harley-Davidson cruisers or touring bikes will run around $170 to $220, while rear tires will be in the range of $220 to $280. A full tire set including mounting and balancing could total $500 to $600. Moving into cooling components, the 2026 Harley-Davidson oil cooler assembly is expected to cost around $180 to $230. A replacement radiator for the liquid-cooled models is likely to sit around $250 to $300. High-performance synthetic oils for 2026 models will remain about the same price, around $12 to $18 per quart, while an oil change kit will run between $40 and $60. Spark plugs for the 2026 lineup will be around $8 to $12 each, while a high-performance iridium option might be closer to $16 to $20. Filters, oil, air, and fuel will cost between $10 and $30 each depending on brand and performance level. Now let's talk about the small but essential hardware that keeps everything together. A complete 2026 Harley-Davidson nut and bolt replacement kit, perfect for full restorations or custom builds, will likely cost around $80 to $120. Chrome hardware kits will hit around $150 to $200, while blacked out and titanium versions may reach $200 to $250. Specialty frame bolts and engine mount bolts will range from $10 to $30 each depending on material. And if you're building a custom look for your 2026 Harley, accent bolt kits for the derby cover, rocker covers, and primary housing will run from $20 to $45. Now let's move on to the electronic control modules. A 2026 ECM replacement will likely cost around $380 to $500. A performance tuner compatible with the 2026 lineup will sit between $300 and $600 depending on tuning capability. And for those customizing their handlebars or adding accessories, switch housing and wiring kits will cost around $40 to $80. For riders planning long trips, GPS and infotainment upgrades for the 2026 touring models will range between $500 and $1,000. Finally, let's talk about maintenance parts. Brake fluid for the 2026 Harley models will cost around $10 to $15, coolant for liquid-cooled engines around $15 to $25, and a full service kit including filters, oil, and plugs will likely be around $80 to $120. Chain lubes, polishes, and detailing products will remain between $10 and $20 each. So that's the full breakdown of the expected parts, nuts, bolts, gears, and essential components for the 2026 Harley-Davidson lineup, giving you a complete guide to what you might spend when maintaining or upgrading your ride. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more breakdowns like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Bike Vibe, and drop a comment telling us what Harley model you ride and what parts you're planning to upgrade next. Thanks for watching Bike Vibe, where the ride never stops and the passion for two wheels keeps rolling.